Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching this in the world, or whatever time zone you're at. It's nice to see you guys. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of What's Poppin podcast with my buddy Tim. What's going on, dude?
How's it going, man? I'm excited. It's first episode.
Yeah, man. This is what's crazy is that I've been kind of like trying to put a podcast together. I just wasn't sure what exactly I wanted to do. But it kind of, came to me maybe like around 6 months ago that I was like, oh, it'd be really cool to do like a movie podcast because I love film. I've been watching movies since I was a child. I don't know how almost same for you, I'm assuming, right?
It's a huge part of everybody's life now, I think. Just movies and shows and everything. And
so we've been talking about doing this for about 5 months or so?
It's been a while. I know that it was really, really serious. It started getting really serious right after Halloween.
Yeah.
That's when it got real serious.
And I know a lot of people have been asking, like, when is this actually, going to happen? And I wanted to make sure before we actually did this that we were well prepared and, the graphics and all that was going to look really nice for everybody. Yeah. We want to give you guys the best experience, the best show as possible. So, yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching. It really means the world to us. But I'm excited. Let's get into it, man. Let's talk some movies, dude. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
So we usually like to start off with some, I wanted to catch up with you. How was your weekend, bud?
It was good. I actually got to see Jumanji, which was interesting, everything like that. And
dude, I haven't even caught up with that. I need to watch too. The first one was really funny.
Yeah, I love the one with Rock and Kevin Hart and all of them. Jack Black, for me, in the first of the reboot Jumanjis, stole the show. The way he portrayed the preppy girl from a high school was funny as hell. I loved that so much, and so he did a really good job in this one as well. So I really enjoyed that. And
the thing about that movie too is that I kind of went into it thinking that I wasn't going to like it.
Really?
That I don't know. I guess it's just. Some people are going to call me a boomer, but I like the original, and I think that what Robin Williams did was just phenomenal.
It's Robin Williams. You can't compete with that.
Yeah, and so I just didn't want them to just butcher the shit out of it. So I was definitely going into it negatively, and I came out like after watching the sequel, right? Technically,
yeah. I know that Zathura. I don't know if you remember that movie.
Yeah, some people have mentioned, or I think Jack Black has mentioned that Zathura is technically part 2, but it's in another universe. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it's the same universe.
Board game universe.
That's actually a really good movie too, though.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
I enjoyed that.
But yeah, I liked it, man. But so you said you liked the sequel?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I think that it's not as strong as the first one, but it's definitely a worthy addition to that because it's the same vein of entertainment. And I won't say what happens, but what it sets up for a potential third installment, I think is far more interesting than what the previous 2 have been.
Okay.
It looks good. I'm looking forward to it.
I see what you're saying. Okay, I gotcha. How about the holidays, man? How was Christmas with the family? Or
I was busy.
Did you do anything?
This was the first Christmas as a married man, and Thanksgiving as well.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you very much. And so that was kind of fun to try and navigate and figure that out of balancing family and everything like that. But overall, it went well. Got a lot of candy and presents and socks, which I appreciate now as an adult. So
socks and underwear, dude.
Yeah.
Or anything warm like a sweater or a blanket. You know?
Yeah. How was your holidays?
It was good, man. Honestly, the only mistake I made though is that we did our Christmas shopping 3 days before Christmas. So, yeah, dude, because I live out. Well, you know this, but for those who don't know, I live out in California, in LA, and usually the malls here are just horrendous. They're just terrible, man. So I was describing this because on my live streams on Twitch that when we went, it was kind of like reminiscing to like the Arnold movie, Jingle All the Way. Yes. You know how they're all fighting for like toys and
for Turbo Man, man. Like
for Turbo Man, dude. It was crazy, man. I would never want to do that next year. So I think from here on out, I want to online shop. So.
Oh yeah. Well, I know that I for me, like, Black Friday is something I want to always avoid, just because of the fact that, like, I've heard horror stories, but I live in such a rural area in Missouri that our Black Fridays are like your normal, probably, weekend. So it can't compare to the chaos that you guys go through. But I hear you, man. I hear you.
It's scary out there. It is. But yeah, other than that, man, I've just as far as like movies or shows, I've been watching Mandalorian. Finished that up finally because I think the last episode was this Friday that just passed up.
Yes.
Which we will get into that.
Yeah, we got a lot to say on that.
We'll definitely get into that. Yeah, and I haven't started The Witcher. I know everybody's been telling me to watch this, so I've been hearing majority of it positive.
I would say it's pretty positive. Yeah.
So I definitely would like to eventually review that soon as I actually binge it. I need to binge watch it. It's just, I need to get this through it. I heard it's only like around 6 episodes.
I think it's 8, and I think
8 episodes.
8 episodes, and they're about an hour long. I've only gotten to like episode 4, most of the way through episode 4, and
okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything. You gotta enjoy it yourself. Yeah.
So you've already started it, right?
Yeah. I'm up through episode 4 now.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so Mandalorian, and then I watched yesterday. I watched a documentary on Tom Savini. I don't know who if you know who that is.
Sounds familiar, but I'm not gonna pretend like I know.
He's a special effects artist for a lot of horror movies and stuff like that.
Okay.
It was actually a really good documentary. It's on Shudder. I don't know if the streaming service. Shudder is basically, it's just like a streaming service basically on nothing but horror movies and like horror like TV shows.
Yeah, I've heard about that. I forgot about that. I heard about that back in the day on Collider and stuff.
Yeah, it's actually not that expensive either. It's around like $6 a month. So, you have to really be into horror to actually want to subscribe to it. You know what I mean? Because it's nothing but horror stuff. But yeah, that documentary is actually really really insightful on his life and just a whole bunch of things that he went through. It was really cool. But other than that, man, that's pretty much what the holidays were for me. Just hanging out with family. I did a couple live streams here and there on Twitch, but it's been very relaxing, man. So. So yours overall was good?
Yeah, it was good overall, and I'm enjoying. I'm looking forward most of all to have an outlet through this podcast and talking about different movies and news and all that kind of stuff. So looking forward to it, man.
Nice. All right, so you ready to get into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So we're gonna start off with some news here, guys. I got 3, and then I'll let Tim. I think you have 3.
Yeah.
3 news ones. Right. Okay. So. First one I wanted to talk about, which I think is very interesting. Birds of Prey gets an R-rated. R rating. Sorry. I want to ask your opinion. What do you honestly think about this movie?
Okay, so
are you excited or are you not? Are you
I'll be honest. I've always been a very big fan of DC Comics. Like, Batman animated series was my bread and butter as a kid. That and Gargoyles, but that's a different topic. But like all that whole DC animated universe with Bruce Timm kind of at the helm. He was the creative guy behind the artwork and kind of was the director of and masting this whole ship. It was really, really well done, and I loved it. I fell in love with DC. So then there's the live action movies, which kind of have been up and down, I would say is a safe thing to say.
Right.
And Suicide Squad, the first one.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but as of recently, they've been up and down. It seems like they're on a high.
Yeah, recently, for sure.
Yeah, seems like they're going up. But yeah, like at one point, I see what you're saying.
Seeing Suicide Squad be so shaky kind of really, that with Batman vs Superman really kind of shook me up and shook my boat. And so I have gotten hurt in my heart of nerd that now I'm kind of like really cautious to hope for the best. Like, I was really surprised with Wonder Woman. I was blown away by that one, and Shazam and Aquaman. Those are pretty fun times. So I mean, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that it'll be good. The fact that it's getting an R rating, I think, is interesting to say the least.
Does that change your opinion about what you had about it, like going into it before?
Kind of.
Like, I mean, like, not your opinion, but like, does it make you like a little bit more excited about it now that it's R rated?
A little bit, because like the way that DC Comics has kind of moved Harley Quinn from Batman the Animated Series is that she's a little edgier than she was in the cartoon and then her original debut in the comics. So seeing her with the ability to have an R rating is kind of almost not to the same degree as Deadpool, but kind of in that same field where she can just go kind of wild and not feel the restraints of a PG-13 or studio interference like that. So I think it's a good news thing.
Yeah. I'll be completely honest with you, man. Like I wasn't a fan of Margot Robbie's performance or just her interpretation of Harley Quinn.
True.
I don't know. I think she has the voice down. You know what I mean? There's certain scenes that I can see it, but I think what threw me off is her look. I'm not a fan of that. Well, the new one looks. Well, the trailer for Birds of Prey actually looked okay, but from Suicide Squad, that look just doesn't do it for me, man. I think everybody on their look just wasn't like.
It was a little too Hot Topic for me.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
Exactly.
It was trying way too hard to be Hot Topic.
Yeah,
than its own thing. Which
You know what's funny too is that she was uncomfortable wearing like the tiniest shorts possible, and even for me, it's like
I remember that.
I always thought Harley was like, for me, like one of my first crushes, dude. I was a kid. I was like, yo, what's the first waifu for me?
I don't blame you, man.
And she didn't even show any like skin like that. You know what I mean? She was in a jester outfit, and I thought that was like, it's still to this day is iconic. So when this outfit was like, we finally got our first, live action Harley Quinn, I was excited, but when I saw the outfit and the way it looked on screen, it just didn't do it for me, man. So partially it could probably be just because of her look, you know what I mean? So maybe in Birds of Prey, I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt and go in with an open mind. And I'm gonna watch it. I'm definitely gonna watch it.
Of course we're gonna watch it, but
yeah, absolutely.
Whether it's good or not, that'll have to be dedetermined. Because honestly,
I'm excited regardless whether if it's bad or good. Just because I think it's because I'm curious to know what are they gonna do with this story. Are they just ignoring the events of Suicide Squad? Or because I know in the trailer they showed the other Joker, which that's a totally different topic, but they showed like a picture of the other Joker. So I don't know, man. I don't know what they're gonna do here because I'm a little confused with the DC universe as of right now.
I honestly think what they're trying to do right now is just each movie is a cool story, whether it's connected or not. That's up to the audience. I think right now they're just trying to be like, hey, let's make a good movie first rather than try and orchestrate some crazy
like
Marvel
multiverse
or whatever. Because that's the whole state of the DC is a whole thing I could talk about for a while. But I would say,
absolutely.
In regards to Birds of Prey, I'm not super impressed with the trailers. I wasn't super impressed like at all by any of the marketing material. I remember in the theater during It Chapter 2, they had like a fake Pennywise balloon that was red that came up towards the screen, and then it's like, haha, it's actually Harley Quinn. And I was
you're
like,
right. That was recently. Yeah. That was for, I think, when I went to go watch the movie It Chapter 2, right? Is that what you just said right now? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think I was trying to remember that. I was like, yeah, that actually happened before.
It's weird marketing.
People were confused too. I thought the movie was starting, but it was a trailer.
It was weird. I don't know.
Like, so what?
If it makes it better for it to be R, more power to them. I just want it to be an entertaining movie that doesn't betray the character. So
yeah. You know what's crazy too? Which kind of leads into my next bit of news is that this movie is slightly going to be connected into James Gunn's Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah, I forgot he was directing that.
Because Margot Robbie is in this movie, she's casted as Harley Quinn.
Correct.
There hasn't been any pictures or anything in the actual it seems like they've been keeping a hush hush so far. the movie. You know, there has been like leaked pictures of some of the cast members in their suits and stuff, but we haven't seen like a picture of like Margot Robbie or anything like that. So I'm assuming she probably has a smaller role in this movie or just like a cameo or something. But she is casted in there.
Do you know if it's a sequel, like a direct sequel, or are they just kind of doing their own thing?
Perfect. You just did that perfectly. So, check this out. Check this out. Right. So, David Ayer had comments to say, well, I think people had asked, David Ayer's thoughts about James Gunn, Suicide Squad.
Was David Ayer was the director of the first one, right? The first Suicide Squad.
David Ayer was the first Suicide Squad. Yes.
Yeah.
So people asked him, is Gunn reinventing the universe or what's going on with it? Is it a sequel? So he replied, and his comments were, "It's not a sequel. It's a reinvention, and James Gunn's going to absolutely knock it out of the park. I'm cheering every step of the way."
Okay.
That was the first comment. So
there's more?
Yes. Okay. Second comment says, "I don't understand what that means." Someone asked him this. Yeah. I don't understand what that means. Is your movie just a standalone one-off and has nothing to do with this continuity? Right. He says, "Yes, that is correct. Some characters and elements will be used, but James Gunn's reinventing the universe. Everybody recognizes the immense potential of the franchise." So that's some good. I gotta give it to David Ayer, man. He's been a gentleman about it. You know what I mean? Like, he even said that he's rooting for it. Like, that's really cool, dude. So yeah, I'm tapping my hat off to him, dude. Because
for sure. Well, I know that he kind of got like the raw end of the stick, because I think Warner Brothers was really heavily involved with Suicide Squad that he'd made, because the first trailer that dropped for Suicide Squad, if I remember correctly, was a very different tone than the rest of everything else that came with that.
Yeah.
And then they did that fun trailer with the music. Mm-hmm. And I think the studio was like, "Hey, everyone loved that trailer, make the movie that." And I think that's what kind of made that movie just spiral out of control and to be this
it was like in production hell for like a minute, just because of like too many hands were on the project, and it wasn't just his hands.
Right.
And I think there were it's very unfortunate. It's kind of like that whole Snyder, the Snyder cut situation.
Yeah.
Where it's just people want to see the original cut to that movie, and
if it exists,
if it exists, you know what I mean.
But I think for what happened to him and this whole thing, and regardless of Jared Leto and his whole attitude towards the whole thing, I think him pointing out that, like, going forward, it's more of a standalone, not necessarily in continuity, that it's its own thing, and he said it with a lot of grace and good attitude and not bitter. So I think that's well done, and I think that sets up Suicide Squad from James Gunn to be something that I can look forward to, instead of like hope that they bandage the mess, because I was afraid of that, to be honest. That's good. That's excellent news. That if it's its own thing, that's good. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, and that was really cool, David Ayer. He was a gentleman about it. But yeah, is there any your bit of news that you had? I think you had like 2 or 3.
Yeah, I know that Ryan Reynolds is going to be working with Marvel. They announced this, I think, on Twitter, and probably somewhere else as well. But he's going to be working with them on Deadpool 3. And I don't think we know if it's going to be R-rated or not.
See, that's what's got me a little worried, man.
Yeah.
Only because, like, I can't see. Well, I could see Deadpool being a PG-13 movie, right? Mm-hmm. But do you think it could be as successful whether if it was PG or rated R?
Yeah, if it's PG-13, where it still has a lot of bloody action, you have a lot of kind of mixed swearing or even whatever, but like no F-bombs or major hard. Like no words.
See, that's where it's rough right there, man. Is that the character is an F-bomb?
Well, that's what I'm saying though. It's like There's been instances in the comics where he has been censored, and the fun thing is that he's fully aware.
You're right. Yeah.
That he's been censored, and so he's like swearing, but it's all like a black bar, and you can't hear any of it. And it's very funny because he just like, whatever. I guess I have to accept.
Dude, yeah, they could probably make a whole freaking sequel about him just being censored the entire time.
He could also be,
talking about Disney or whatever. Because he's always breaking the fourth wall, obviously, So that's okay. Yeah,
there's tons of capability. Yeah. He could even comment on like how the X-Men franchise went out with a whimper, and he jumped ship successfully first. Like, he could make so many funny jokes about how... Yeah.
I think that's why a lot of people love Deadpool, is because of all the pop culture references he makes, throughout his movies and stuff. But that gets me so excited that it's finally like being like, they're either writing the script or they're working, with ideas or how they're gonna do this. So I'm pumped, man. How do you feel about it? Are you excited or?
Everything excites me until I think about the fact that right now, Sony and Disney are kind of having a spat about who gets to have Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. One thing I've always wanted to see live action is Spider-Man and Deadpool having interactions. So it's a tiny thing as a nerd.
It's very possible. 100%. It's still possible.
Yeah.
They did patch things up as of right now.
True.
Sony and Marvel are okay. So hopefully they stay okay for a little bit longer. That eventually, crossing our fingers that we get the cameo. I will be just happy getting a cameo. I don't want to ask for too much and be like, get a full-length film, Spider-Man versus Deadpool, which would be amazing. But I think a cameo would just please so many fans.
Well, cameo would be perfect. Especially if he's just sitting there. Spider-Man's just went through a horrible thing. He's sitting on a rooftop like, I don't know what to do. And then Deadpool's just there, and he's like, you want a chimichanga? And he's like,
yeah, exactly. Just something small like that. Perfect.
Yeah. Yep. In other news, we also have Mandalorian Season 2 announced on Twitter. Now, do you want to talk about this now or after we talk about Mandalorian? Because we can come back to this.
Hey, let's get back to this. You're right.
All right. The other thing I had, I have a few other things, but I don't know if you wanted to cover any more that you had first.
No. You're good. Okay. Go ahead.
Travis Knight, the current signed-on director through Sony to do a Uncharted movie, is possibly going to leave, which would make him the 7th director to leave the project.
Dude,
Tom Holland.
That movie's been a fucking mess, dude.
Yeah,
it really has been.
Tom Holland is still attached to be.
And Mark Wahlberg, I think, too, right?
Yes, yeah, he's on there as well.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about this, man. Like, have you played the Uncharted games?
I have watched you play them.
Okay. Those games they're a lot of fun. It's dumb fun. Where it's just like, there's not so much in story in terms of like, okay, I need to pay attention too much. It's kind of like if you were playing a live action freaking like Michael Bay video game.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's something like that where it's ridiculous, right? But it has potential to possibly be like the modern day like Indiana Jones.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, it's a good mix from what I've seen of like Indiana Jones and Tomb Raider kind of mold.
Yeah, it's both characters, a mixture of both characters. I'm okay with the casting. I don't know how I feel about Mark Wahlberg. Tom Holland as Nathan Drake is pretty cool. I can see it for like a young version, obviously, but Mark Wahlberg, I don't know, man, because he's playing. Mark Wahlberg's supposed to be playing an older character by the name of Sully. And if you want to Google image him, you'll get an idea of what he looks like.
Right.
And I can't see it. But this is their version of Uncharted. But I don't want them to change too much because those two characters together is just...
Yeah, that's a bit stretch. I don't know. That'd be interesting. I guess I could see it, but he's not that old at all. So I mean,
yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It just depends on the time period, I guess. You know, like where exactly they are in time. You know, how old is Nathan and stuff. So we'll have to wait and see, and then we'll have to wait and see if it comes out of production hell, because it seems like it's keeps losing directors.
Yeah, according to Variety, that's the 7th director. If he decides to leave, that's the 7th on the project to leave.
Oh my God, damn, that sucks. That really does suck.
Yeah, that's quite a few. I mean, I know that people say Lucasfilm has been struggling to have consistent directors on some projects. I know Solo was one that had like an issue with directors.
Oh yeah, that went through a mess.
Yeah, but 7, that's quite a bit more. So, and it's a video game movie, so we'll hope. But I don't know.
That's another thing. That is another thing.
The last little bit of news I had, and then I'm fresh out of news, is from the Los Angeles Times. Universal Picture has potential to face at least a $70 to $80 million loss from Cats. Because in its opening weekend, Cats has only garnered this last weekend, so I guess that's not opening weekend, just 4.8 million in the US this weekend on its second weekend.
And it's currently sitting at 20% Rotten Tomatoes.
It's a disaster.
On Rotten Tomatoes, yep. Damn, dude. I mean, it's the movie wasn't for me, period. Even, for the type.
You're not a musical guy, Jimmy?
I mean, no, there's some musicals I like. There's some musicals, okay? Grease, classic.
Yeah, that one's good.
That's a classic, okay?
Pretty much all of classic Disney.
Yeah, exactly. Mary Poppins. All those other ones. But I don't know, something about Cats, dude. That trailer threw me off, man. I was not expecting that. It was a little scary.
A nightmare fuel. It's nightmare fuel. It's so. What were they thinking of?
Yeah. You know what's crazy too? It actually has a pretty decent cast.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like
it actually has like a really decent cast. It's just, I don't know, man. Is this being taken off of a novel? Do you know, or is this just like a fresh idea?
Okay, so Cats actually is a Broadway musical that's done, and it's good for stage. It doesn't translate to the theater. Not to mention, apparently, because I've watched reviews of it, because I'm just a sadist, I guess. But apparently, for the first hour and a half of this 2-hour movie, there's no story. It's just they come onto the screen, say who they are, what they kind of do, have catnip, get kind of weirdly horny, and then dance for an hour and a half. It baffles me. I don't know. For some people, I'm going to say this to anyone listening: if Cats is your thing, like if you live and breathe the musical Cats, and all of you ever wanted to see was a bunch of, A-list actors dressed as cats, full on hamming it up. It's your time, baby.
Right? No judgment, right?
Yeah, it's your time. But for most of us, it's like, why is this happening?
Yeah, it sucks. I honestly, I don't wish bad on anybody or anything. It sucks that, the film didn't do as good as it, was probably projected to do, I don't know.
$70 million loss, I think.
Yeah, that is a big deal, man. That is a big deal. Yeah. All right, I think I got one more bit of news here, and then we're gonna be jumping on to 2 reviews. They're not gonna be like full on length reviews, just FYI, guys. Just because both of these have already been out for a little bit. The first review is gonna be episode 9, Star Wars, and then the other half is gonna be Mandalorian as a complete the complete season. So the first season. And yeah, so. But the last bit of news here I wanted to talk about, which kind of caught my eye here, was Kevin Feige says that Doctor Strange 2 isn't quite a horror movie. It teases surprising new characters. That it's going to be, apparently from what I read in this article here, that there's going to be characters that people wouldn't predict appear in this movie.
All right.
And with that being said, after reading all that, right, reading this article, I'm even more excited about this because I think out of all for the next, what is this? What phase are we in? 4, 5?
I don't even know if they're calling them phases anymore, but it would be 4.
It'd be 4, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. Okay, so but this phase, right, as in this year of Marvel movies, the one I've been excited for the most has been Doctor Strange. Just because I feel like this is the one that's gonna kind of set us up for what's big to come.
Yes.
Because every other movie after Endgame has just been kind of like whatever's to me, just because there hasn't been like a big threat.
I get that. I mean, like I thought
you understand?
Spider-Man
like,
Far From Home was decent, but
came off of Thanos, like the biggest threat ever. You know what I mean? So it's like we need to top that. So any other like little villain that comes out in most of these, you know, Marvel movies, it's just not gonna do it for me. I don't know, explain it, man.
It's hard. It's hard to come down from such a high. Like,
and they're trying to like, okay, they're trying to get us back down and just chill for a moment, but no. Keep us at what we're at, man. You gotta, you know, keep going up from there. So, but which is why I think that this movie, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, that's what the movie's called. I think this is going to be the one that actually sets us up for the future, as in like who's going to be the biggest next baddie. You know what I mean? For the next few years to come until they meet up again in a Avengers movie.
Yeah. Marvel has done such a good job with their universe cinematically to really be able to say, hey, our big name, big wig actor, you know, like characters that we had to sell off so we didn't go bankrupt back in the day. At the time, we don't even need them. We have good characters here. And now that they've kind of proven themselves and gotten quite a few of the characters back now, they have such a deep pool to pull from that when he says characters no one would predict, he could be very well right, because sure, it's common knowledge Hulk's Marvel, but then there's other people, like if I remember right, there's like a balloon boy and a guy who melts into a puddle. Like there's random people, like there's no way to predict it.
Random characters, yeah.
It's gonna be interesting.
It is, man. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I can't wait for this particular movie out of all the Marvel ones next coming up. Like this one, The Eternals and Blade are my top next 3 Marvel movies for sure that I'm most excited for. I know there's that other one that I don't know too much about the character, Shang-Chi.
Oh, yeah, I know he's going to be dealing with the Mandarin, the actual Mandarin.
The real, okay, not the debated version that we got in Iron Man 2.
And Iron Man 3. And did you see
3, yeah.
There was the one shot that was included on one of the Blu-rays where it was actually a really cool short film where the guy who was the actor who played the Mandarin in Iron Man 3 or whatever is in prison. And he's getting interviewed, and he gets kidnapped from prison by the 10 Rings to go be executed by the real Mandarin.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is a deleted scene?
No, this is one of their one-shots. They used to do that back in like phase 1.
Okay, yeah. I know what you're referring to, yes. I gotcha.
So that was cool.
I don't think I ever caught that one. Yeah, okay. So it's almost like they're setting it up for a while now. I'm excited
because the Mandarin is one of Iron Man's biggest baddies that he did in his own like rogues.
Yeah. Right.
So that's going to be good.
And I think the Mandarin, and then it was also MODOK that I liked a lot too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know who MODOK is.
I recognize the name. I don't remember specifically.
It's like a giant head.
Really?
It's like a giant floating head. Just look at MODOK. It's probably one of the best things ever, man.
Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah. I do know him. He's got that weird MODOK. Gray evil face and like the golden chair and like the little legs and arms. I do remember him. It'd be wild if he shows up too. That'd be just.
That would be. I would be interested to see how they made him look on actual, film like that, because he's only been in the cartoons as far as I'm aware, and I know he's been in a couple video games like Marvel vs. Capcom and stuff like that.
Well, Marvel's not shy about having their characters look like they did in the comics. Like Spider-Man: Far From Home, Mysterio looks like Mysterio from the comics with the giant fishbowl, everything about it. I mean, it's goofy as hell, but it works in the movie.
That actually worked really well.
Yeah.
I was very curious to know how that was going to, pay off. Like if they were going to actually get it, you know what I mean? Or they were just going to butcher the hell out of it. But no, they killed it, man.
That visual effects sequence where he's, that, you know what I'm talking about? Like when everything around Spider-Man is falling apart. He's like in a snow globe at one point, all this other stuff. That was incredible to watch. Like that elevated that movie so much for me. So Marvel, if they put their mind to it, they can have any character from their gallery in this new Doctor Strange movie, and it probably will work perfect. And I'm happy. Just as a Marvel person, I'm excited.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's exciting stuff. But yeah, I think that's about it for some news there. I think it's time. So before we get into it, I want to let you guys know that we've been holding our emotions. We've bitten our tongue without having to tweet anything out at all about our thoughts on episode 9. I don't want to get too deep into it because I know there's a whole bunch of reviews out. The movie's already been out for almost a week already. Probably already has been a week probably.
Yeah.
And so, but we still want to give our thoughts and opinions about it and give you guys our review. What did we think about it? So yeah, I think it's time. We should do that.
Well, I want you to go first. I want to hear your thoughts first, man.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, how about let me ask you this?
Yeah.
Okay. What were your thoughts going into it first? Like just going into it. That's it. Just going into it.
I had it spoiled. I don't know if you remember that. Someone on Twitter liked something or whatever, and Twitter, for some reason, I wasn't even following the person who liked it. It's one of those situations where Twitter's like, hey, this person, because they're famous, you should check out this tweet or whatever. And it was straight up like the final moments of Rey versus Palpatine.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. Before you continue here.
Yeah.
Be aware, guys, if you have not seen episode 9 or The Mandalorian, this is going to be heavy spoiler territory.
Spoilers.
So, just letting you know, ahead of time. Okay, so beware from here on out. It's going to be spoilers. If you have not seen both these, if you haven't seen this movie or the show, come back later after you've watched it and watch this podcast. But from here on out, let's go.
So I thought it was absolutely crazy how Palpatine made out with Anakin's Force Ghost at the end of the movie. It was just insane. So that's a final warning for any of you who stayed for the spoilers. Get out of here. No. But that was spoiled for me, the whole ending bit. So I was just like, I had feelings about that already. And so I kind of went in knowing kind of what was going to happen, I think.
Yeah. So were you like going into it? Were you open-minded? Were you already thinking that it was going to suck? Or were you, kind of excited still?
I tried my hardest to go in open-minded, but knowing what I did know did honestly paint a slight film of doubt and disappointment already before I even saw the movie. But I tried my damnedest to be open-minded, and then the movie happened.
Okay. All right. So let me go ahead and start then.
All right.
So, I told everybody that when I'm gonna go watch this movie, I'm gonna be as open-minded as possible. Right? I'm just gonna go and be entertained, and try not to get the fanboy in me to like get upset about certain things that they change. Because I know they're going to change a lot. I already knew beforehand that a lot of stuff was going to be changed.
Half Yeah.
So I tried to stay positive. I tried to stay, open-minded and not, not get upset about this stuff. But man, was it hard, dude. It was fucking hard, dude. It really was, man. I can literally sit here and just tear apart this fucking movie, dude. Like I could there's so many things that just bug me. You know what I mean? But I don't want to do that. I really don't want to. I want to do that. So I want to start off with what it was that I liked.
Okay.
How about we start there?
Yeah,
Let's talk about what we like the most. Okay.
Yeah.
I think this is by far the best looking Star Wars movie out of all of them.
Wow.
This one visually, I think killed it. I think visually it was amazing. A lot of the shots, just the cinematography, all that, dude, just looked amazing. I think it did a really good job with some of the practical effects and also the I don't know, man. Something about just the way everything looked, it just looked right. It didn't look cheap to me.
Right. Yeah.
I think they put in a lot of effort with that. So I'll give them that. I think that this is probably visually, this is probably the best Star Wars movie. Like next is the music, the score. I think the score was amazing. Obviously, I thought it was great. That's what, so that's another thing for me.
John Williams, he always hits it out of the park in my opinion.
Yeah, oh yeah, dude. John Williams is a G.
And this is his last hurrah with Star Wars.
I heard, yeah. I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little sad by that.
It's sad. It's kind of weird. It's like having a grandpa be like.
It's sad because he had to go out with this one. He couldn't do Mandalorian, but that's another thing.
Well, his themes will live on at least. So
yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, they're always going to be iconic. I think the acting.
Yeah.
For some actors, let me get this right. For some actors, okay. I think Oscar Isaac, Poe Dameron, he did great. I think John Boyega did. I think John did pretty good too. John Boyega. Mm-hmm. Daisy really did awesome as well. Like as far as their acting chops go, right? Mm-hmm. Put aside the script and put aside their dialogue, but I think what they were given, for what they were given, and they executed it pretty damn good. And even Adam Driver did pretty good too. Yeah. I have no complaints with that. I think he did a pretty good job, but it's just the script is at the end of the day is what's gonna hold the film together.
Yep.
So yeah, another thing that I enjoyed.
Scrape the bottom of the barrel, Jimmy. Come on, you can do it.
I really am scraping here, man. What's another thing I really liked?
I got a few if you want to hear them. Maybe
I think no. Well, let me. You can go next, but
okay.
I think that's it for me. So let me just go over it again.
Yeah.
Visuals, top tier for me. Did an amazing job.
Yep.
2 was the music, the score. Mm-hmm. Great stuff. Mm-hmm. And then the acting, I think they did a pretty good job as far as what they were given with, and the way they executed it. They did the best they could. You know what I mean? So I think they all did a pretty good job with that. So those are definitely
your pros.
My pros for sure.
Yeah. For me, the pros for sure. I thought what they did with Carrie Fisher, given the fact that she had passed away, what they managed to do with the footage they had, because they were backed into a corner. Keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
They could have in the opening crawl said, Leia died on a toilet. And just left it there, or something horrible, and that would have been just as disappointing. Her just kind of whatever. But for what they had, and allowing her to at least have a presence on screen to see how that went, and the technicality behind that, I was actually very impressed. Like putting on completely new clothes from different shots, and kind of painting out the entire background perfectly. Like she didn't look like she was thrown in too much. Which was impressive to me. I thought that was fairly decently well done. Mm-hmm. I really liked Babu Frick, the little alien dude. Thought he was cute as hell. He's up there, not as good as a certain character that we'll get into.
How did I forget about that? Hey,
yeah,
dude, Babu is the best character from this movie, man.
He is adorable.
He is so good. I love that character, man. Seriously,
And now that I think about it, you know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of the little. I don't know if you remember the movie Flight of the Navigator.
No.
There's a little alien in Flight of the Navigator that is like permanently a pet with Elliot, the main kid, as he goes through this spaceship, and he's a little dude in his little hand. It looked identical to him, so I wonder if that was intentional. I didn't think about that.
I'm gonna have to look that up later. Okay.
Besides that, I enjoyed some of the humor I found, because I enjoyed all the things you mentioned, but also I found that some of the humor, like C-3PO had a line that for some reason just hit me good. It was after they went through the quicksand into the tunnel somehow.
Okay. Yeah.
C-3PO's in the background like, don't worry, I'm fine too. Like, it just sounded so sarcastic. That one struck me as really funny. And then I enjoyed the weird dynamic between Poe and Finn. Just, they seemed a lot more...
They had a bromance. They definitely had a bromance.
That was funny.
Sure.
Like, it worked for me. Like, so that was interesting too.
Yeah.
But that plus all the things you said, that's all I got for pros.
I think their chemistry, both Finn and Poe, I think they did a pretty good job. Like, it was fun to watch them. You know what I mean? Like on screen, both of them. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's get down to the nitty gritty, man.
Yeah, and I won't go into super detail. I'll just pick a few.
I want you to go first for the the cons here, man, because I know he's been for the record, this man has been dying to just lay out everything, so he's gonna do his best. Just
I'll keep it
lay it on us, man. Lay it on us.
Okay, so
what is wrong with the movie? What is wrong?
Nearly everything. Before I even begin this, I'm going to, like I said, I'm gonna shorten it down to just the essentials of what I hate about this film. But if you want to see everything I had an issue with, I will include in the description of this video and wherever we send this podcast to a link where I have a Google document where I have bullet pointed every issue I have with this movie, because I won't be able to have time to get to it now. But for what it's worth, I found the biggest thing that was an insult to me with this movie was the whole premise that Palpatine's back. I hate that with a passion, because if you have ever seen episode 6, the Death Star explodes to a degree that it's not even dust anymore. It's so stupid. It made me so mad. And then they have the audacity to show that there is rubble from the Death Star that's as big as part of the actual curved dish that shoots the laser. Are you... What? I was upset. I could not believe that. And the fact that he's like, I'm alive, and it shows that it's him. It's him from episode 6, because that's back when he wasn't as weirdly in the prequels, but his fingers are all scorched. That's them saying that's the same body. So then, how in the hell did he get through there and live? What? It was so idiotic and reaching for me that I kind of immediately checked out, because the way they said it was the dead speak with an exclamation point, which doesn't tell us that what happened there. And I personally think instead of having that little dead speak sound clip of the broadcast they have to steal be released in Fortnite for some reason, that they should have included that in the movie to make it a little bit, I don't know. It's just that was an insult, because besides just the insult to the intelligence of the audience, there was also the insult to Anakin's legacy, because it's like a 1,000-year-old Jedi prophecy that he and possibly Luke, there's debate over that, whatever, are supposed to bring balance to the Force. Yep. There's 1,000 years of prophecy of that for it to predict maybe 30 years of peace. That seems pointless at best and a terrible retcon at worst, in my opinion. What did you think?
And the thing too with some of the stuff you said, well, one of the main things that I laughed at when I was sitting in the theaters that I looked over at my brother, I was like, dude, really? This is how they're gonna introduce fucking Palpatine through the actual scroll?
I know.
They're not even. It would have been better to me if they didn't start off with the scroll right away. They can still start with the scroll, right? But actually have an epic, like, intro to what the fuck happened to Palpatine. Like, how did he survive? Like, how did he actually survive? They should have showed it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Right? Showed his, like, you know, that he was floating in space or some shit, right? Or, you know, like, he had an apprentice that saved him, or just something to show that, and then start the movie with that, with him surviving, and then start with the scroll, like, oh, you know, Palpatine, you know, whatever, right? Whatever they wanted to put on there. I just, dude, it's just a shame, because you can tell from watching this movie, he wasn't originally supposed to be in this fucking movie at all. No. He was not.
No.
And I don't blame JJ for what he did, because
Rian Johnson threw a tire iron in his bike wheel.
What he was, for the stuff that he was given, I think he did a pretty good job for what he was given. You know what I mean? And try his best. But dude, this movie has so much fucking plot holes, man. So many plot holes, and it's just so frustrating, because you're left confused, and just like, I mean, being a fanboy like I am, because I love Star Wars, right? Regardless, you know, how bad this movie was, like, I already saw it twice, just to kind of make sure, do I really not like this movie? Or maybe the first time I was kind of a little too hard on it. Watched it again, and it still didn't, you know, sit well with me. It's just frustrating because of so much, you know, stuff that's just goes unexplained.
Nope.
And we can go
on and
full
on
list on that, on what things did not get explained.
Everything. I'll say this, and I know I'm going to get hate from some people, but I apologize. And
no, this is, by the way, guys, we're in no shape or form telling you not to go watch this movie at all.
And
you
like
go
what
watch
you like.
it, and you like what you like, and you be your own critic on whether if you like these films or not. You know what I mean?
Yes.
For us, we're just, you know, pretty much telling you guys what we think about it. Maybe some of you guys might be related to this stuff, to some of the stuff that we're, you know, feeling about the film. But it's no shape or form we're telling you that our opinion is over yours or anybody else's. So This is just our personal opinions. Hopefully some of you guys can understand that. It doesn't get too offended whether, you know, we bash on a film that we did not like, but you liked. You know what I mean? If you liked it, if you found some enjoyment out of it, great. Good for you. But yeah, go ahead and continue.
So I'll wrap up my overall feelings for the movie real quick, because I know that we've been going for quite a bit. We're trying to figure out the pacing of the podcast, but I will say this. Almost every single aspect of this movie, I fundamentally disagree with, as both a fan of Star Wars and just from a level of consistency in storytelling. Mm-hmm. Like, the whole sequel trilogy as a whole now is absurd and just so convoluted, because there's no through line. There's no consistency. Having two different directors, the second of which throwing probably one of the biggest, I would say, the biggest curveballs in the direction of what there was for setup, completely made the entire trilogy fall apart. And for what this movie tried to do, it still failed, in my opinion. And there's no through line. Like, with the original trilogy, there was a vision for what that should be, and it was through. Even though it changed directors and had different writers come on here and there, and the magic of editing with the first Star Wars movie, it came out brilliantly for the time and still holds up today. The prequel trilogy, love or hate them, George Lucas still had a vision for the through line and helmed it for the through line.
How would it was already going to end?
Yeah, and
he already had a begining and an ending. He just had to fill in the middle. And that's pretty much with this movie. They did not. I think JJ did a no right job for starting it off, right? Some people are going to say, obviously, it's just a copy and paste of, you know, A New Hope, which I don't feel that way because there's certain things that they did that I feel like was a nice setup to a good direction. Like I liked Snoke. I actually liked Snoke, the character.
Sure,
it just sucks that he had no fucking like impact on us. Like it was just that's it. It was just that's another thing, dude. Do you see the way they fucking waved this character off? He's just a jar, and I made him up. I just made him.
That jar, dude. I saw that. Dude, I laughed
and then there's
out
a
loud.
jar of like 2 Snokes, like trapped in there. Like
it was like 3 or 4 of them, and they're all like naked and looking scarred already, and they're just like. And I'm like, that is hilarious. That's the funniest.
That is your explanation to all this. Like, wow, dude.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, we can go off on this film. There's so many things here that just bug me. But I want one more. Okay, just one more. The one that really got to, dude. Now, this is the funniest one. Is the ending. The ending where she goes back to Tatooine. And she buries the 2 lightsabers, Leia's and Luke's.
Oh God!
Right? She buries those, and then just a random old lady, is strolling by.
As they do.
Who are you, Rey? She looks away. Skywalker. I was like, what?
And meanwhile, Luke and Leia are sitting there like happy grandparents.
Yeah, just happy grandparents. No. Wait, dude.
Woo.
Oh my god, there's so much I could just make fun of this movie, dude. Yeah. Like the kiss. The kiss was the most just it was so fucking cringe, man. It was very cringe.
It's up there with what's the character's name? Rose Tycho. Which no hate for I need to say this as well. For clarification, no hate to any of the actors or actresses, and if anyone goes after the actors or actresses because they played a character that happened to be horrible or whatever, shame on you. You don't do that. So like Rose Tycho, the character, I don't like. The actress, I wish nothing but the best and success.
Yeah, the whole character. I don't think I sound like I didn't dislike the character. I just think that the way they wrote her in there is I don't think the actress is bad. I think the actress did a pretty good job. Even in this movie, she did it okay for what she was given because they kind of like
she's in the background going like, "Hi, I'm here."
Yeah, she's kind of in the background, and it kind of sucks,
Yeah.
I wish she would have gotten some role in there or some importance or whatever. Yeah. But I don't think she's a bad actress at all. But yeah, her character, whatever, it just didn't sit well with us. Like I just didn't care for it at all.
Right. I was looking at like her kiss with Finn in Last Jedi and Rey's kiss with Ben. I have to get used to saying Ben now. I think are almost on par for the most awkward and unwarranted kiss in the trilogy. It was so out of nowhere. I know there's people out there who have like Reylo. They love that whole ship. I just didn't see it.
It just the payoff wasn't like. The kiss wasn't earned. Like
I
didn't even know they had a fucking love interest. I just thought that he was just trying to convince her to come to the dark side majority of the time. You know what I mean?
I meant the dark side of his bedroom, Jimmy.
Yeah. I just didn't. I didn't see it there. Like I wasn't that whole love interest went over my head. Can we talk about the Kerry Russell's character, Zori Bliss? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you see her eyes.
Yeah.
They're good eyes.
Yeah, I mean, good eyes.
I see you.
That was kind of like random too.
Yeah. I think
that was very random.
It may be just JJ like, hey, I can get you a nice paycheck. Why don't you come into Star Wars? Just you'll be in a helmet the whole time. You'll just have to play peekaboo for a second. Easy money.
It was a very random, like I get it that there were old friends or whatever, but it just seemed like they were moving way too fast. Oh, come with me, let's just escape together.
Here's my convenient little disc.
Yeah. Oh, this is the only way of getting off this planet or whatever, right? Then later on, she got off the planet with Papa. How if she didn't even get a coin?
She has a sock drawer full of them.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, they'll say that in a comic or a book.
See, that makes more sense than the majority of this fucking movie.
Yeah. So anyway, should we explain the rating system real quick? I can do that real quick.
Yeah. Go ahead and explain the rating system because we do want to rate this film in our personal going forward with the more reviews, we're gonna give a more thorough review. This one we just kind of wanted to go by it quickly, give you guys our thoughts and opinions, because I know there's hundreds of other reviews out there right now, but we just wanted to give our thoughts out. But go ahead and explain the rating.
So we're the What's Poppin' podcast. Obviously, we have a thing for popcorn with this podcast, and so what better rating system than a popcorn rating system? So it's on a scale of 1 to 5, but you can kind of also extrapolate it to be 1 through 10. 1, as in bad, is burnt. Just straight up burnt. It's caught fire. It's no good. Then you go up to stale. It's kind of popcorn that technically you can consume, but you're not going to enjoy it. Then you have plain. There's people out there who love plain movies. They just want a smooth, easy ride. That's a 3. A 4 is your buttered popcorn, or whatever particular level of buttering you prefer. That's the buttered popcorn. And the coveted 5 or 10 out of 10 is your golden popcorn bucket. It's the chef's kiss of your
pièce de résistance.
Yes, that's your snack go-to, whatever that is. That's the golden that. And so anywhere in between there, you can kind of fill in the blank. It's heavily buttered or lightly buttered or whatever you want to say. But on a general 1 through 5 scale or 1 through 10 scale, that's kind of how we're gonna rate it. So, Jimmy, what's your thought, man?
Should I kick it off?
Yeah.
Okay, so as a whole movie, I want to say, even though I've been bashing this, I still think this movie was still entertaining, even without me, even with me bashing it, whatever. Was I entertained the entire time? I actually was. I wasn't bored. I wasn't bored at all. I honestly, like, a lot of the fight sequences, like I said, the cinematography, the music, it still had me there. But it's just like where it loses me, it's just the shit ton of plot holes that they have in the movie. It's just, that's where it loses me, because I just want more explanation as to why certain things are happening. And not just thrown in there just because of nostalgia or just fan service. So I want to give this, I want to give it a 2. I'm gonna go with the stale.
You're gonna go stale with it?
I'm gonna go with stale. So 2 for me, 2 out of 5.
Okay, fair. I've been hovering, man. I have been hovering all over the place. I kind of phrase it to a friend: if you want to turn your brain off and you want to see pretty lights, loud noises, and people just screaming, hooping, hollering, lightning, all that crazy shindig stuff, this is a 4. This is a solid, good, great time, hooping, hollering. As a nerd, which I am proudly, and as someone who cares about continuity and consistency, I have to say it is very close to burnt. The only redeeming qualities are the pros that we have said, and so I barely allow it to, in my opinion, get a 2 along with you. Just very, very.
So
plain.
you give it a 2 as well,
or stale, I should say. Yes, it's
okay.
Ooh, there's so much with this movie that's so bad.
And honestly, for me, it's a stale, right? But it's close to a 3 for me. Like, it's very like it just misses the mark for a 3 for me. So, but I honestly, I feel comfortable saying that stale 2 out of 5 is what it's at.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So you 2 out of 5 as well?
Yeah, certified stale. Officially here. So you heard it here on What's Poppin'.
There you go, guys. That's going to be our review for episode 9 of Star Wars. So what is that? Rise of the plot holes. I mean, Rise of the Skywalker.
of the Skywalker.
The Skywalker. The hair flip too.
Yeah, oh boy. Moving on.
Yeah. So I want to move on here to The Mandalorian.
Yes.
Give our thoughts overall about the season. We don't have to go too in depth with with each episode or anything like that, but from what we thought about what going into the show and what we thought about after, as a whole. You know what I mean? So I want to get your thoughts. Go ahead and you can start this one off.
I found it to be a really breath of fresh air. I thought it was fantastic. I really, really enjoy The Mandalorian. It's a show that honestly a lot of people got Disney Plus for, and I think that they were not disappointed when they did.
I for 100% got it for, well, not 100%. I would say 80% of the reason why I got Disney Plus was for Mandalorian, but the other percent is because I have nostalgia for some of the older shows and some of the older movies as well.
Yeah.
Majority of was because of Mandalorian.
Yeah, and it's been rocking. There's a few hiccups here and there with some episodes being either a little too short for my liking or kind of having fillery kind of feels to it. But overall, I think it's amazing what they've been able to pull off for a live action Star Wars show, which is, I think, the first one they've ever done. And obviously, because again, spoilers, we're talking about spoilers, that reveal of Baby Yoda had me losing my shit. I was like, this is so exciting. I was looking forward to that so much. I would say that the only negative points I have for it overall is, unless they really explain why this particular Baby Yoda species, why this one is so easily doing such advanced Force things, I'm going to have issues with that. Because I want to be consistent, and I had an issue with Rey being so inexplicably powerful. I think that the same should be said for Yoda and the Yoda baby, I should say. So hopefully they explain that in further seasons.
Well, it's just said that they are that species, which we don't know too much about because George Lucas never really released too much of it. So this is the most we've ever seen of another Yoda. I know there's two. There's Yoda and there's the other one, the female version that was in the prequels, Yaddle. So hopefully we get a name. I'm tired of calling it Baby Yoda. I want a name.
Unless it's this one's Jeffrey. And then I'll be like, oh yeah, you're Baby Yoda. But unless it's something stupid. But
so what did you think, like, overall? Like, did you like the show?
Oh, hell yeah, man! It's awesome. I enjoy it.
I think I don't know if you feel the same way. For sure, it's not a perfect show. 100%. There is there's a couple episodes in there that I just felt like were kind of pointless, and it was just whatever. And it was very just kind of like sugar cookie, like they kind of give you that, like, it was very predictable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How it was gonna actually end up to be for a lot of these episodes. Not only that, but the dialogue. I feel like some of the dialogue gets rushed at times too, especially with the last episode.
A little bit.
There was towards the very end of the episode where Mando actually takes down the TIE fighter, right? And then as soon as he lands, hey, so that's it. Looks like the planet's clear of all stormtroopers. Yeah, it just felt like, yo, good stuff. Let's move on here. It felt rushed. I think they could have took their time a little bit there to kind of close it out. But I think personally, man, I enjoyed the entire season, even for its, some of their episodes that were just felt kind of obviously fillers, you know what I mean? And but I think overall they opened up so many doors, so much possibilities for multiple seasons.
Oh yeah,
multiple seasons. Well, since
like that Bill Burr episode, I think it was episode 6.
Episode 6. Yes.
That one was phenomenal.
I still think what were your favorite episodes? Like top 3 episodes?
Episodes 1,
there's
3,
8 episodes, right?
Yeah. 1, 3, and 6, I think, are my favorites. Although that tiny little reveal of the Darksaber in the final one had me on the moon, man.
Oh my God.
But I want to go back to episode 6. That whole... Bill Burr's character, and I can't remember her. She played Nymphadora in Harry Potter, and she played the Wildling Lady in Game of Thrones. I cannot remember her name to save my life, but her.
Yeah, I know who you're referring to. She's also in Harry Potter, right?
Yes.
Yeah, she was in Harry Potter. Yeah. I remember. I know who you refer to. But she was creepy. She was creepy.
She was cool too. But what they did with their whole dynamic, that whole bit, and the fact that they didn't kill him off, tells me that there's room for those characters to come back, and I'm going to be so excited when they do, because that was so entertaining, that episode. It felt so good that just everything about that episode
I like the tone of that episode as well.
Yeah.
And Clancy Brown's character was fucking awesome too.
He was the Red Demon, right?
Yeah, the Red Demon dude. Yeah. It's funny too that demon guy was just a small little, character in A New Hope, just chilling in the bar.
Yep.
Just randomly placed here, and now they've included him in the.
I don't know if
it's an episode.
If it's him or if it's one of his species. I don't know if it's the exact same guy.
It's not the same guy. Yeah, I don't expect it to be the same, but it's that species of I'm
just gonna call them the devils. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know there's an actual name to it, which I need. I should probably look up to it. But yeah, I think it was awesome, man. I really enjoyed it. I'm very excited for what they're gonna introduce to us in the new season, since they've already announced season 2. Jon Favreau actually tweeted that out. Season 2 next year.
Yeah, we were going to talk about that.
Yeah. Fall before we do. So yeah, overall, what did you think? In terms of what would you rate it between
easy
1 through 5?
Easy, really solid 4. I think it's a beautiful bucket of buttered popcorn, man. Just eat it up. It's a good time. I would recommend this to virtually anyone who's even has an inkling of love for Star Wars. I think this show does a really good job of just being a wonderful time that makes sense. It doesn't mess up too much. It's really good. I think it's fun. It's a solid 4 out of 5 for me. What about you?
4 out of 5? Dude, I want to give it a 5 so bad, but like I said before, is that there's a few episodes that I'm just kind of I put my bias aside because I really love the characters in this world that Jon Favreau created. It's just man. But I have to go with the 4. I really, it's just thinking realistically, it's between a 4 or a 3. It's
oh wow, okay.
No, it can't go higher than a 4, and it's not lower than a 3. I'll tell you that much,
no.
For sure. It's just I'm telling you, it's just the dialogue and the pacing with some of these episodes feel a little fucking rushed, and I want more consistency going forward with how long some of these episodes are.
It was kind of all over the place.
If you're going to keep them 45 minutes long, keep them 45 minutes long. Or if you're going to keep them between 45 and an hour, keep them between that range. I didn't like the fact that some of these episodes are 35, 26, 40, 45. The last episode was 49 minutes long, and that's not including that's including the credits.
Right.
So I'm assuming the last one, 49 minutes, was probably around 40 minutes long.
Yeah.
Or 40, 43 or whatever, right? And then the rest was pretty much credits. But yeah, I just want more consistency with that. Hopefully the dialogue gets a little bit better there. But overall, I love the characters. I love the acting. I'm glad with what we got. I'm not disappointed at all. And honestly, this made up this entire series, or this entire first season.
Yeah.
Made up for that movie. Episode 9, I'll tell you that much, man.
Yeah.
So I was very bummed about episode 9, but when this last episode of Mandalorian came out, I was very pleased. Yeah. So
the visuals need to be also recognized too. That IG unit.
Mm-hmm.
That's impressive.
That's the thing too. I didn't even get to tell you my favorite episodes. I think episode 1, episode 3 with all the Mandalorians and stuff. That was really cool. And that was Deborah Chow's direction too. Directorial debut for that episode.
She's going to be doing the Obi-Wan Kenobi series in 2021.
Yes. And then episode 6. And then it's a tie between episode 6 and episode 8. I really enjoyed episode 8 because of the cliffhanger at the end.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I'm excited, man. Just because that opened up a whole new door. This opened up a giant door with Baby Yoda being in the series. I don't think this show would probably be as good if it wasn't for Baby Yoda.
True.
And that's just the truth.
Yeah,
just because of that's keeping us more whoa, who is he? Is he Yoda's son, or is he just just a random,
what's
it
cool.
Could be a clone. Nobody knows if it's a clone either. There's so much possibilities with it.
Yeah. What's cool is that he, being the age he is, they said 50 something, that puts him being born around the same time as Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fascinating to me. So that's kind of cool. I don't know what they're going to do. The fact that he's going to be searching for the planet of the Yoda species, I think is exciting. Not to mention the whole Darksaber thing. So yeah, it's solid 4.
Yeah, and back with what Jon Favreau tweeted out, which is basically confirming season 2, which will be released next year, fall of next year. So 2020. I'm excited. I cannot wait. He's already confirmed. I don't know if he confirmed or if I read this in an article, basically implying that they were going to introduce a lot of the existing characters from the Skywalker saga. I'm not sure if it's going to be like some of the bigger ones from like the actual from the movies, or is it just like a lot of the little side characters that were already there? You know what I mean? So yeah, that's exciting that, you know, we know that it's being treated, or it's being taken care of with good hands. I'm happy with what we got, and I'm happy where the direction it's going. Let's just, you know, let's just tweak a couple things there.
It's a steady ship,
we got this. Yeah, we got this. We got this. I like it.
I'm confident.
But yeah, so before we wrap things up here, guys, I definitely want to give our top five movies of 2019, because for those of you that are going to be watching this episode, it's probably going to be the new year already. So
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year! Happy 2020! But we wanted to give you guys our top 5 of 2019, and do you have your list ready?
I do.
What are your top 5 2019? Tim?
So
you don't have to give them in any particular order if you want to, but just give us the top 5.
I would say, I will give. Well, I'll say this. So I would look back at 2019. I forgot some movies came out this year. Shazam as a movie for me was a great time. I know that the villains were these weird hulking gray things, but if you could look past that, it's a funny movie.
It is a fun movie. It is a fun movie.
One of my favorite bits from that movie, real quick, is he's facing the villain from really far away, and the villain's given this whole epic, like, I'm gonna kill you and your whole family monologue. And then it cuts to Shazam, and he's like, "What? I can't hear you." Which is a very funny thing, because how many times in movies do you see it where they
balance the comedy in there really well, man.
Yeah, I really love that movie.
So Shazam's one.
Yep. Then I have Avengers Endgame, of course. I think that's arguably one of my favorite of the year. I have Joker, which for me was such a good movie. I love that movie so much, and I'll defend it till I'm blue in the face. Then I had It Chapter 2, which some people had mixed things. I think you were one of them who didn't necessarily like it that much. I really enjoyed the movie.
I didn't like it.
Then Dr. Sleep. I found that to be really, really good.
Ooh, okay.
So
nice. All right,
what's your top 5?
My top 5 for 2019, ladies and gentlemen. I have to start off with Endgame, of course.
Yes.
Endgame is woo! I cried. I hate to say it, man. I cried. And it's always that same particular part. It's the part where Jon Favreau's character, I think his name is Happy, right?
Cheeseburger line.
He's talking to Tony Stark's daughter, and he's, you know, pretty much asking her if she's hungry, you know, and she says, "Yes, I want hamburgers." And he's like, "Oh, you know, your father liked hamburgers." And that line, though, you know, it hit, man. And I always try to hold back the tears. The 2 times that I saw it in theaters, I was like, damn. It's more relatable now because I have a son. Yeah. So it's like, oh my God, like that's it sucks, you know, that she's so young and she lost her father and stuff. So that line fucking got me. But Endgame, that's one. The other one would be Once Upon a Time in Hollywood by Quentin Tarantino. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie a lot, man. And I went into it kind of like high hopes, and there's certain things that really bugged me that I just felt like they could have done a lot better. But overall, it's Quentin Tarantino, and I've already seen the movie like 4 times already, and I'm still pleased. I think every time that I watch it again, it's classic Quentin. But I like it. Good. So that's 2. 3 would be The Irishman on Netflix.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I really like The Irishman. That was really cool. The only thing that, you know, kind of bugged me a little bit was some of the CGI around the face of Robert De Niro, like certain sequences, like, you know, and I get that they're, you know, de-aging. So I got past it really quick. It didn't bug me too much. It was just the beginning here and there. There's like maybe one or two scenes there I was like, yeah, that's not too convincing. So yeah, The Irishman's number 3. Number 4 for me would be John Wick 3. Oh my god, that movie was really, really fun to watch. In terms of story, it's kind of, obviously unbelievable, you know what I mean? But it's a fun classic, just, chill back, eating popcorn, watching just dumb action going on screen. And I liked it. I had a lot of fun watching it. The last one is going to be Joker for me.
Oh, okay.
So top 5. Yeah, Joker, obviously very controversial film. Some people, I feel like it's kind of split sometimes. So I get people talking about why it's not a good movie or why some people really enjoyed it. So for me, I think it was a great film. I liked it for what it is. Is it a happy movie? No, it's not. It is a very depressing movie, man.
But it's got Frank Sinatra in it, so that's a plus.
Yeah, I watched it 3 times, and yeah, it's very depressing. But at the same time, I'm happy with what they did with the character, and the backstory that they chose to give him. And I thought it was cool, man. Even though a lot of the stuff is clearly reminiscence and also not stolen, but it took a lot of inspiration from a lot of Scorsese's movies, especially Kings of Comedy. If you've never seen that movie,
Kings of Comedy, and also
Taxi Driver. There's some Taxi Driver stuff there. But Kings of Comedy, that's the one I feel like is probably the closest to that, and I liked it overall. All those 5. I will remember 2019 for those 5 films, man. They were a ride. They were a ride, and I'm excited for 2020, boys. We got a lot of movie reviews to come.
Yes.
I just want to say thank you to those of you that stuck through this entire video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is our first run through, so we're gonna find a better pacing of getting through some of these categories.
Yeah, this was a bit long for a podcast.
It was a test run. It was a test run. I promise you, next time it's gonna run a lot smoothly. We're always gonna stick to the same, obviously same formula with starting off with news and then moving on to the review, and then we'll just go off from there. We won't go too far as of adding double reviews like we did today.
Correct,
with like episode 9 and Mandalorian. We're gonna stick to just straight one review for either the movie that we choose, that is either a theater release, or if it's going to be a Netflix movie or a Hulu movie, whatever,
streaming or something.
But I want to go ahead and announce our next movie review. I don't know if you know by now. You might. Do you know?
Is it
no
Grudge, right?
Yeah.
You
got it. So Grudge, the new Grudge movie will be out this Friday, I believe.
It comes out this weekend. I don't know if it's a complete reboot. I kind of hope it is. I remember the first one effed me up as a young boy.
The Japanese version?
I think it was an American. There's a lot of Americans in it, I think. Right? It's where they go to the house, and it's got like the boy and the girl, the mom.
Yeah. The Japanese one scared the shit out of me. The American one had its moments. It's not my favorite, but this trailer to the new one actually looks really, really interesting, man. I'm excited.
Yeah.
That'll be our next review, guys. Expect episodes hopefully every Wednesday or Tuesday. Just depends on how busy we are, because we both, have jobs we do. I know Tim works. He works a normal 9 to 5, pretty much. I do live streams on Twitch, so if you guys haven't yet, go follow my Twitch. It's at twitch.tv/Jimmy on Twitch, and you guys can watch me play games there, talk about movies here and there, but I want to keep the movie reviews and all that movie talk majority on this podcast. Anyways,
speaking of movie talk, if you guys do want to talk with us and communicate to us your passions and thoughts on movies, if you disagree with us or have your own say or whatever you want to tell us, or if you have questions and things that you want to hear our opinions on different movies or shows that you happen to love or hate, feel free, follow us on our Twitter, comment below on YouTube videos or whatever. Shoot us all your questions, all your thoughts, and everything like that. And we'll try, maybe at the end of a podcast, to hit as many as we can that we think would be interesting to talk about. So feel free to shoot all that towards us, and we're going to keep an eye on that as well.
Yeah, please. So you can either follow my Twitter at jkLSZ or follow Tim at Mr. Hyrule, and even follow, even better, tweet at over at What's Poppin' Podcast. The links will all be down below.
Yes,
so you guys should definitely go down there and go follow all of our social medias. But if you guys would like to do us a huge favor, and please hit a like on this video, and also leave a comment down below. What did you think about it? You know what I mean? Let us know. That'd be great. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I want to wish every single one of you a happy new year, especially to you, Tim.
Well, thank you very much, Jimmy.
But you and your family and everybody else out there. Hope you guys, please be safe on New Year's. I know by the time it's already going to be the new year, but please, guys, have yourselves a happy new year. I wish you guys nothing but the best, and I hope you guys hit all your goals. I have a few goals, that I want to hit this year. So this was one of them. This was this is a goal for 2019, was to basically get this podcast started. So I'm excited for what's to come. More new reviews coming soon to you guys. So the next review will be The Grudge, and that will be out to you guys on hopefully
1 week from now.
Like I said, either Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, roughly a week from whenever you're seeing this. Hopefully on the 1st of January.
Yeah, so you'll get weekly episodes, guys. So for now, we're gonna keep it on YouTube, and eventually we'll hopefully get some stuff uploaded on Spotify as well. So we'll figure it out. But anyways, Tim, thank you for everything, bro. Appreciate you. We'll see you guys very, very soon.
See you next time.
Guys.